Okay, Anna, so I'm going to ask you just to lie back the way you are, and you can keep your eyes open, but you don't have to stare at the camera. You don't have to look at me. What I want you to do more is to listen to my voice. So Anna, today, as we're working together, I'm going to be able to give you your first experience in hypnosis and self-hypnosis. And I'm going to guide you through a session that's going to allow you to learn skills to master your own mind. So I see that you're lying back comfortably. That's very good. So I want you to think about your body and be aware of where you are in the room, on the bed, with your head resting against the pillows. And I see that you're just relaxing your eyes and letting them go. And you're probably just looking off into space at nothing in particular. But I want you instead to focus at a point across the room, on the wall, or wherever that's within your gaze. And I want you to just look at that point and stare at it. And I want you to continue staring at it. And as you do, you might notice that staring at one point without moving your eyes makes them somewhat tired. And you're finding that your eyelids are getting heavy. And you want to blink. And as you continue to stare at that spot, you can feel your eyelids becoming heavier and that the muscles are getting tired. And that perhaps what you want to do is rest your eyes and close them. So go ahead and do that now. And just let your eyelids fall back down. And feel how good it feels to let the muscles of your eyes relax after that staring that you just did. And you can feel that you're starting to relax within your mind and within your body. So now that you've relaxed your eyes, I want you to try to open your eyes. And maybe you feel that your eyelids are very heavy. So just open them a little bit, and you might feel like, oh, I would rather just close them because your eyelids are so heavy. So let them drop and just close down again. And just revel in the feeling of letting your eyes rest and not having to do or participate in anything or having to answer any questions or please anyone. Right now, you're just taking this time completely and 100% for yourself. And so I want you to start becoming aware of your body. Your head is resting against the pillow. And I want you to feel the muscles in your neck and in the back of your head. And feel how good it is to be able to let your head rest. You're not having to look at a computer. You're not having to do any work, pay attention to anything. You're just letting your head rest back on that pillow. And it's such a delicious feeling because putting your head on the pillow and resting like that is the beginning of you preparing for a restful night's sleep. And so this is a delicious feeling that you're going to look forward to having every night when you go to sleep. And now I want you to start becoming more aware of your arms and your shoulders. And the way your arms and your hands are resting on the pillow in front of you. And it also feels so good to just let your arms rest. They're not active, they're not doing anything, they're not working, They're not typing on a computer. They're not doing anything around the house. You're just giving your hands also that time to be self-indulgent and to have that delicious rest. And now I want you to start becoming a little bit more aware of your shoulders and the way sometimes they're kind of tight when you're sitting at your computer working, or when you're a bit tense. And I want you to take a deep breath through your mouth and exhale and blow. And as you exhale, I want you to feel your shoulders really drooping and relaxing and falling down. And it's a delicious feeling to let go of the stress that you're carrying in your shoulders. And now I want you to become aware of your torso and your butt and your bum cheeks resting on the bed and your spine. And you realize that it feels so good to be able to lean back and to not be using your back muscles to sit up. And you're relaxing all of the muscles in your abdomen and in your back and in your bum and in your hips, and you're just really letting your body sink into the bed. And you're realizing that that's also a delicious feeling, because at night when you go to bed, before you fall asleep, you often really luxuriate in that feeling of relaxation. And it's a time of rest that's well earned. Just as you're taking time to learn new skills with me now, you're also learning how to relax your body and let go and allow it to loosen and relax. Because that's what your body always does before you drift into a delicious and restful night's sleep. So you're taking time with me now to learn how to let your body relax as part of the falling asleep process, letting go step by step, first with your body and then with your mind. And it feels good, and you're proud of yourself. And you realize that letting go and relaxing and letting your body prepare for sleep is just a skill that you need to learn, and that you're taking the time to learn with me now. And today is a new day, and all of those nights that you couldn't relax and couldn't sleep are in the past. And what we're doing together now is laying the groundwork for new days ahead, where your quality of sleep and your mental rest are going to be excellent. And all of those nights that you had of bad sleep are going to be in the past. And now I want you to focus on your legs, all the way down to your feet. And realize that it feels really good to be able to let go of the muscles of your legs as well. Your thigh muscles are not working. Your calves are also just resting on the bed. And even your feet are relaxing. You're just floating. And you never realized how good it felt to let go of all of the muscles in your legs, all the way down to your feet. Because you're also preparing to be able to relax before you go into your mind and teach your mind to relax. And so that heaviness that's in your legs and in your arms and in your torso is also starting to create a sense of unwinding and relaxation within your mind. because your mind is also a muscle. And you're learning how to teach your mind to relax. And so I'm going to ask you now to open your eyes and to look at that point across the room again. That point that you had stared at earlier. And you're finding a wonderful balance between your body being relaxed and your eyes being open. And you realize that you can achieve that with both body and mind. And as you stare at that spot across the room, I want you to now take that spot with your mind and bring it into your mind. Carry that spot on the wall into your mind, into that place in your mind where all wonderful thoughts and expectations about the future and belief in yourself, that wonderful sense of relaxation and self-confidence where all new thoughts are learned. Find that space in your mind, and I want you to go there. And I want you to take some time to feel how good it is to be in that spot and that space in your mind. And now your eyes have closed down and your eyes are rested. And now you find that you can go into that place in your mind even more freely and even more easily now that none of the muscles of your body are working and your mind is able to open up. And you're able to look around in that space in your mind as if you're in a new room. And this room is glowing with a wonderful light and energy that's very positive and very healing and very relaxing at the same time. And as you look around, you think, how wonderful it is for me to be able to go into this space in my mind. And today you're going to learn what thoughts you can create within that space. And as you look around the room starts getting a little bit brighter and you can see things more clearly. And as you look around the room, you see in the middle of the room, on the floor, is a box. And it's like a nice wooden chest, a beautiful old-fashioned box. The wood is polished and beautiful and smooth. And it looks like a kind of treasure box. And as you look at it, you wonder, what is this box for? So you approach it. And as you get closer to the box and you look at it more closely, you see that on the front of the box there's a beautiful brass plate. And on the plate is engraved, "My bad feelings about sleep." And as you look at the box and see those words written, you realize that that box is yours. That box was made just for you. And you realize that this wooden chest this wooden box, has been made for you to put things inside of it. And you start to think to yourself, what bad ideas, what self-defeating ideas do I have that I would like to take out of my mind and store in this box? And in the same way that people used to have old-fashioned chests that they would store away things that they didn't need and put it up in the attic and sometimes leave it there for years or a lifetime and forget about them, that people can take things that they no longer need and no longer want to have around cluttering their life, that they can put it in a chest, put it in a box, and store it away because they no longer need those things. And so you've decided that you want to take some of the bad feelings and recurring thoughts that you've had about sleep, and you want to put them in that box and store them away. You want to take those thoughts out of your mind as if you were picking up a blanket, and you want to deposit them into the box and pull your hands away and have them no longer part of you. And as you look at the box and think about what is written on the front, you start to think about some of the bad feelings you've had about sleep and how they seem to just move around inside your mind. And you think to yourself, all of the times that I wondered and thought, am I going to have a good night's sleep? When is this going to end? What is this doing to my health? And your fear about not being able to sleep well and what it's doing to your health is one of the biggest thoughts that you want to take out of your mind and put into that box. So I want you to look within your mind, that space that we went to before, and see the thought that we just spoke about. Am I going to have a good night's sleep? What is this doing to my health? And I want you to feel what you feel when you think of those thoughts, and realize that a thought has feeling and it has form. And as you see that thought in your mind, you're reaching out and you're grabbing it with both hands. And you're holding that thought tight. And you're determined because you want to get that thought out of your head and into that box. And so you're grabbing that thought about what is this doing to my health? And the fear that you had about you're not being able to sleep and how it's affecting your health, and you're grabbing a hold of that thought, and you're mastering it, and you're pulling it out of your mind, and you're bending over, and you're reaching out with one hand and you're lifting the lid of the box, and you're taking that thought and you're depositing it into the box. And as you let go of it and you stand back up straight, you realize that this feels good and you want to do this more. And so you think about some of the other thoughts that have been running through your mind, where you find yourself beating yourself up, saying, why is this happening to me? Where is this coming from? Will I be all right? All of that worry and remorse. And you realize that that thought too has a shape and a form within your mind. And so you reach out with both hands and you grab a hold of that thought and you pull it out of your head and you bend over and you drop it in the box. And as you stand up straight again, you realize that your mind actually feels lighter and clearer. And you realize that every time you pulled a self-defeating thought out of your mind, you cleared space in your mind. And that you no longer have that foggy and drowsy feeling that you sometimes get after a bad night's sleep. But now your mind feels clear and fresh. And you realize that there's actually space in your mind for good thoughts about sleep. And you realize that all along you've been craving being able to feel good about yourself and about sleep. That you've been wanting for a long time to have a good relationship and a good attitude towards sleep and getting into bed at night. And you realize that when you do have a good night's sleep, you wake up in the morning and you feel grateful and you feel rested and you feel hopeful. And so take a minute to remember what that feels like. When you wake up in the morning and you've had a good night's sleep and you think to yourself, all of those bad nights' sleep are over. That's in the past. I slept well, and I can sleep well. And I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to have a good night's sleep. It's just going to happen on its own. And you realize that every time you hoped that your insomnia was finally over, that it actually was, and that it was just those self-defeating thoughts that made it come back. And so you realize, and you're excited to realize to what extent how you feel about sleep and how you feel about yourself when you wake up in the morning after a good night's sleep is the way you always want to think and the way you always want to feel. Because you know there will be times when sometimes you will have a bad night's sleep, like everyone does. But that'll be okay, because it's not who you are. It's not a life sentence. You are actually going to enjoy and revel in a good night's sleep. And as you start to realize that, you realize that everything is going to be different from here on. And when you wake up in the morning, you're only going to think about how happy and grateful you are for the sleep that you had, and that your mind is going to be refreshed and positive, and you're going to get through your day with hope and optimism. And so take a minute to actually just enjoy the good feeling that you get when you think those positive and happy thoughts about sleeping, and how delicious sleeping really is, and how refreshing it feels. Take a moment to actually really feel physically how good it feels when you think those things. And now I want you to realize that how you feel right now is how good it feels to be able to sleep deeply and restfully. And this new attitude that you have towards sleep, you realize you've made space for it in your mind, and it's going to stay with you for all time. And those self-defeating thoughts that you had that are yucky, that you're so happy are no longer living in your mind, are now in the bottom of that box. And so, with determination, you reached out and you closed down the lid of the box. And then you take the box and you pick it up and you carry it outside and you put it in the trash. And just then, the people who pick up the trash are coming and taking the box and taking it away. And as you watch the garbage truck roll away, you realize that as the box is gone, so are all of those negative thoughts. They really are gone, and they're never coming back. And you kind of wipe your hands off you and say, good riddance. I'm going back into the house, and it's going to be a new life from here on. And you're so proud that you took the time to clean out the thoughts in your mind. And as you go back into the house, you realize that you're actually back in the room, and that you're lying on the bed, and that you're listening to my voice, and that your head is resting against the pillow, and your arms are resting against the pillows. And you're starting to become aware of your space and where you are. You're starting to come out of that place where you've been in your mind and back into the room. And you realize that as you're coming back into the room, you're bringing with you a new way of thinking. And you're looking forward to a wonderful evening and a really good night's sleep. And so with that sense of optimism, you're starting to move your body a little bit, starting to become more aware. And you're wiggling your toes, and you're starting to feel your legs moving around a bit as if you're going to get up soon. And you're moving your fingers a little bit, wiggling them around, all part of slowly waking up. And you realize as you're coming back into the room that this is actually very similar to the way you feel when you wake up after a good night's sleep. And this delicious, confident, restful feeling that you have right now is the way you're going to feel every morning when you wake up. Even if you didn't sleep much, every morning before you get up, you're going to feel this rested and confident and optimistic feeling that you've achieved right now. Every morning that you wake up, you're going to feel great like you do right now. So as you realize that, you're starting to become more and more aware of the room around you. And you're actually starting to think about opening your eyes soon. Because when you open your eyes, you're really going to be back in the room, in your life today, and really looking forward to the rest of the evening with your family, to later on having a really good night's sleep, and waking up tomorrow morning with a sense of gratitude and looking forward to having a wonderful day with a clear, rested, and happy mind. So as you're thinking that, you're getting ready to open your eyes. You're moving your head around a little bit. And as you open your eyes, you realize that you really are back in the room. And it feels good. And you're actually happy to be back in the room where you are. This is a wonderful space where you're going to get many restful nights' sleep. And as you're looking around the room, you're thinking, okay, I actually feel really good, and I think I want to get up. So you're starting to wiggle your body around a little bit, and you're starting to prepare to actually move the pillow away. Give yourself a chance to be able to get up and become a little bit more alert. So you're going to take the pillow that's on your lap and you're going to put it aside. And you're actually preparing to actually physically get up. Because you realize that part of coming out of the session that we just did is grounding yourself and coming back into your body and into the space.